Oh, sorry.
Hi, and welcome to Jen and Dan's Natural Healing with Plants, the go-to podcast for holistic health seekers looking to harness the power of nature for health and healing. I'm Jen, a passionate health educator, whole food plant-based culinary coach, and master herbalist, and I'm with Jan. Jan. Hi, and welcome to Jen and Dan's Natural Healing with Plants, the go-to podcast for holistic health seekers looking to harness the power of nature for health and healing. I'm Jen, a passionate health educator, whole food plant-based culinary coach, and master herbalist, and I'm here with my partner Dan, an exercise specialist and wonderful master herbalist. Together, we dive into the world of natural healing, bringing you a wealth of knowledge and practical advice. We draw from both traditional wisdom and modern science with herbs and foods to help you achieve optimal health. So for today's episode, we're doing something a little bit different. So Dan has a family member who's been in the hospital, and so we just want to talk about, how do people end up in the hospital? Like my mission is to save body parts, and so obviously you lose your body parts in the hospital, and so we want to talk about how we can stay out of the hospital. So, Dan, tell us a little bit of your thoughts on this.
Well, I think there's so many things tied to our health that we don't ever hear about because some of them may even sound a little bit, you know, kooky or whatever, but it's not really. There's science on a lot of things. Me and Jennifer are definitely science people, but there are other things outside the realm people do not think about. For instance, if you have depression and negative thoughts, it actually suppresses your immune cells. They know this. There's science behind this too. It suppresses your immune cells. So if you're sitting this family member, okay, she has been depressed for years. Her routine every day was get up, sit on the couch, watch the view, be depressed. She's still mad at her ex-husband. She holds on to anger and hate. She doesn't eat right. So all these things, she doesn't exercise. All these things, they go together. Well, I always talk about synergy. Well, you can do synergy in the opposite direction. Doing all these things, your body's going to be weak because I don't want to disclose how sick she is, but she's very sick. And I think that your body has to deteriorate to a large extent to be as sick as she is now, meaning your immune system has to be weakened significantly to be as sick as she is right now. And I've observed this for years, and I knew that I didn't know, but I was afraid she was going to get sick one day, and here we are.
Yeah, yeah. Well, one of the things we learned from Dr. Schultz
Mm.
was that we store emotions. And so you said, so she still is angry at her ex-husband. And how long have they been divorced?
30, like 30 years.
Ooh, holy cow.
And you can
Yeah.
mention his name, and her face just turns into a scowl, even to this day.
Yeah. And so I know, I think you've listened to Square One, Chris Works,
Hmm.
Cancer Summits, or whatever it is, the modules and everything. He's awesome. He shares that for free once a year. And I listened to it a couple of times in a row, and he talks about that too. One of his key things is forgiveness, and that has to be a part of a healing journey. And I remember with Dr. Schultz, it was like getting rid of things and clearing, clearing your house, declutter, but also clearing emotions and removing those emotions. I know, for me, that's something that I work on too. Whenever we sit and we feel some emotions in there, we're taught to suppress our emotions, especially men. I think it's worse for men than for women. Um, I'm a crier. I've cried at interviews, gone to interviews and just burst out crying. That's just what I do. I cry, and that's totally inappropriate, right? And so then I'm full of shame because I cried, and so we learn to suppress and hold it and not show our emotions and build up those walls, which some of us who've had a childhood trauma, we have really big walls as well where we hold those emotions. So it's learning how to remove those walls and remove that hard shell over your heart and release these emotions, because emotions have so much to do with it. And so our podcast is normally about herbs and foods, but really that's only part of it. You can do the herbs, you can eat the foods, but if you have a hardened heart or you aren't letting things go, then that can hurt you just as much. The same as a stress, the same as exercise. I mean, you still have to move your body. We have the lymphatic system that has to move. We have to express our emotions, but we also have to rest too.
Oh yeah, there's people. I'm sure you've seen people that ate really healthy and they exercised, but they still got sick.
Yeah.
But if you look at these people, they weren't happy. They were not content with their life, whether it was their job or their relationship.
Mhm.
And then I've seen people, you've heard the people, well, my granddad smoked cigars, drank gin, ate red meat every day. He lived to be 100.
Right.
I'm not saying that's the norm, but I'm going to tell you that guy was probably happy and content.
Right. Right. Had friends and spent time with friends and stuff too.
And life was more simple then. Like you grew up, you didn't have social media. I mean, you went and got a job or joined the military, and that was your life. You didn't have to worry about. We're so full of. There's so many things we see now. Like I want to do this and this. I want to be this, and you can't be content that way. You can't pick just one thing. I want to be a gymnast and a musician and it's like,
No, that's
it,
me. I'm a
yeah,
I want to do all the things. Yeah.
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
like that too, but I
Yeah.
think that keeps us discontent though because we can't do all those things.
Right.
You
Right.
know?
Yeah. Well, it's funny you described me when I was diagnosed in 2007. I was doing all the things. I was like, I'm not the one that's sick. How could I possibly be sick? Because I do all the things. I was eating the foods and I was exercising and all that, but I hated my job. I hated my job. My motto back then was New Year, New Career. It was like every year I was finding something else because nope, this job wasn't it. Nope, this job wasn't it. You know?
Yeah.
And so I was not happy at all. And then I also didn't know how to release emotions and all that stuff either. But yeah, I mean
Yeah.
it's funny, It's
It
funny,
is.
not funny, but yeah,
It really. I'm like you. I've had many jobs I hated, and I quit them all
yeah.
because I mean I was miserable, and I'm like, I don't want to do this the rest of my life. I knew that much at least.
Yes, right. I felt contained in an office job. I was contained. It was like
Yeah.
I want to be outside, and I just see people, oh, we're going to the pool today, or we're going on a hike today, and I'm like, I'm stuck in this stupid box,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And what it was I knew what my purpose was
Yep.
way back in the 90s. I knew I got my master's in health science, but everybody went to work in a hospital or a gym, and I was like, I don't want that either. But I didn't know how to fit in. How do you do this job? How can you help people get better, live healthier lives if you're not working in a gym or a hospital? Back then they didn't have coaches or health coaches, things
Yeah.
like that. And so totally different world.
Well, it's interesting all these things we're talking about this morning because there's a lot there. Have you heard of Dr. Joe Dispenza? It reminds me of him.
Yes.
He is
Yes.
revolutionary. He's a chiropractor and he has these events where he calls it, was it stop being yourself, something like that. They go through these meditations and they
Yes.
let go of a lot of emotions. And there's real healings going on at these places, like cancer's going away at these events.
Yeah.
The person
Yeah.
lets go. Dr. Christopher had thyroid cancer. I remember that story with him. He said he had thyroid cancer and he did all the things and it wouldn't go away. And then somebody told him about holding on to hate. He goes, well, I don't hate anybody. But then he started thinking, he goes, you know what? My mother didn't want me when I was a kid. I realized I still hated her. And so I asked God to help me let this go. And when he let it go, the cancer went away.
Yes.
This is a huge, it's like the final frontier with health because they're not talking about this enough in the medical system.
Right. Yes, I love it. I love that you brought that up
Hmm.
because I have had that phrase in my head for months. Let it go. Let it go. For some reason, it popped up in my head. Let it go. And so I've been going through the list. Who have I not forgiven? What am I not letting go? that kind of thing. And then, you know, and I went and had a colonic, and my doctor told me I had to go and have a colonic, and I've never done anything like that before. She had me on this big detox because I was so sick last year and had parasites. And I went to do this colonic, and it was absolutely horrific. Everybody was like, "Oh, you're gonna love it." It was horrific, and all I could think when I was in there was the words "let it go." Let it go, which is hilarious. You're having a colonic, right? But there was something else I'm not letting go. And I went and saw my doctor afterwards, and she said, "Well, how much weight did you lose on the colonic?" Because most people lose, I don't know, a couple of pounds, 10 pounds. I gained 5 pounds. It's like, what the what? How did you gain 5 pounds having a colonic, right? And
Because
so,
you
I
have a
mean,
lot of willpower
yeah,
about holding on to your stuff.
yeah, right. Yeah, I don't let things go, right? That's one of my things. I don't let things go. Like, I'm extremely loyal. I'm extremely loyal, almost in a bad way. Like, somebody really has to hurt me for me not to be loyal. But once that happens, done. It's like done, and I'm not going to let it go. And so that's one of my things is I've got to let these things go. And then I was at the Ancient Yoga Center, and it just kept going in my head. I was getting dark, deep depression, actually, pain. I've got to let something go. And I did a meditation. We learned about energy healing, like we're talking about today. And I laid down one night after a really, really stressful, eye-opening day about another experience that I won't talk about on the show. And I did a meditation, and I turned it on, and it was a guided meditation about letting it go. And I mean, I didn't pick it for those words, but that's what it was. And I could feel this major release of letting things go. And then I slept, and I woke up, and I've been so peaceful. It's been 3 weeks now, but it's just like, wow.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
but yes, but when you're in that pain, I know how not letting things go can hurt your body. And so
Yeah.
then it's like almost a cyclic thing. Uh-oh, I can't let it go. This is damaging my body. It's making, and if you start saying those things, then it is going to be damaging your body. You have to be positive, which is something else we could talk about too. You know, like there's so much about affirmations and positivity that can help in healing and recovery.
Yeah, I saw a story. There are two hospital, it's on hospital record. There was just two men and they both had heart failure. They didn't know each other. They were in different states. I think I saw this on The Secret. I think it was a
I haven't seen that.
documentary.
Mhm.
Well, they used things when they were well, these guys they had learned the secret. Basically, when they were in the hospital bed, the guy kept saying, um, my heart's going to heal. Something to that effect over and over. I'm healing my heart. My heart's going to get better. And it did. And the other guy was doing the same thing. Positive affirmations. My heart is healing. My heart is healthy. My heart is healing. And he would do that over and over while he was in the bed. And his heart failure reversed just by positive affirmations.
Wow.
There's
Wow.
so many different examples of this, positivity.
Yeah.
When your immune cell, if you're positive, your immune cells start to kick up and you'll get healthier,
Yes.
you're stronger, more
Yes.
resilient. I mean, a lot of people, I feel like it's not resilience, I feel like in people isn't what it used to be. Like
Mhm.
even people in our age range, they don't seem to be as vital anymore. I
Right.
don't know if it's too much stress and it causes them to feel negative. And of course, we're not even going to talk about food today.
No,
We're
that's the
talking about,
first thing that popped in my head. It was like, well, have
yeah.
you seen what they're eating?
See, a lot of people are so busy. They're so busy and they don't have time to think. They have a job, they have kids, they may have parents they're taking care of.
Right.
It's hard to stay positive there.
Yes, it is. And we have this, it's almost like a reward system. Like there's somebody in my life who they're constantly saying, okay, so I did this and this and this and this and this. And so now I'm gonna go do this and this and this and this and this. And it's like they want to be rewarded for all the things they're checking off today. And it's like, no. I mean, yes, I mean, you want to get things done and be productive, but it's not a race to see who can check off the most things today.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah. And I was one of those people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would make my list and then I'd be so upset if I didn't get through the list, that kind of thing. And so it's really just prioritizing. Okay, this and this and this I have to get done today. The rest is out. And so that's something else that I've worked into my routine, taking time out. Taking time out. Does it really matter if you get that done today or not?
It takes practice, as you know. You have to totally change.
Yes. Yeah, complete mindset change.
Yeah.
Complete mindset change. Really
And
prioritizing yourself. Because if you're sick and end up in the hospital, how many of those things are you gonna be able to check off your list?
you're done.
Yeah. Right.
You
Right.
know,
Take care of your body now while you can.
I agree. Take care of it now and it will last you. It will
Yes.
last you, you know.
Yes. And learn how to process your emotions. Get help processing emotions. And don't claim your illness. Like, I received a diagnosis, but I'm not going to say I have X, Y, and Z. I don't have it. It doesn't have a hold on me. I was diagnosed with blah, blah, blah. Right. And
Yep.
so it's just, right. I'm
Yeah, you
healthy
gotta
and
let
strong. Yes.
yep.
Yes. Yes.
Gotta let go of it. Don't let them label you. That's a trick.
Yes, yes, yes. So I think the keys to staying out of the hospital are working through things. And the older we get, the more those past trauma does come up, and that is something else. Learning how to work through that, which was one of the things that at the Ancient Yoga Center, I asked. I was like, because I'm one of those people who I have blocks, or I call them blanks or whatever, of memory. It's like I don't remember a lot of my childhood. Um, I don't. It's like my memory is just wiped out for a lot of those things. So I said, do I have to go through a process where I remember those things to be able to let them go, or can I just let them go? And she was like, well, it depends on the person, but there are certain situations where you can just let those things go. And so that's that too. And so if you have a lot of childhood trauma, if you don't, you can look it up. Um, it's the ACEs. Just look up ACEs study, and you can learn more about that if you have a lot of stuff from your childhood. But other than that, thinking about who do you need to forgive, working through your emotions. If you're not in a good relationship with your partner, finding ways to improve that, and really focusing on the people that are most important to you. Number one, yourself, taking care of your own health, but also rekindling those relationships with others is so important.
And don't put off
And
the things you want to do.
right, right, right. Yeah, we're not guaranteed anything.
And that's another trap. Well, when I retire, I'm gonna do this and that. Dude, don't wait till you retire. Do
How
it
many people do
now.
you know retire and
Oh
then,
God.
yeah, they don't get to do the things?
I mean, I know several that retired and they died soon thereafter.
Yep. Yeah.
So take a
Yes.
vacation.
Play, have fun, do the things now. Yes.
Mm,
While you're feeling good and healthy. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I'm so sorry that you're going through this in your family.
yeah.
Hopefully we can all hopefully this helps people, you know?
Yeah.
If you're listening to our podcast today and you or someone that is in your world is suffering and you want to help them or yourself, comment, let us know, or message us. And, maybe we can help connect you with someone who can help you too with this kind of thing. Energy medicine is huge and so real and something that I am learn about and embrace and use. But being in part of community and all of those are things they talk about in the blue zones. That's another thing that you can look up to learn more too. Anyway, did you have anything else you wanted to add, Dan?
No, I think it was a great show. I think that we got a lot of things across and it's really important because I know a lot of people out there are hurting and everybody's got problems, but we have to learn how to navigate it. And look, it's not, I had a therapist before and I liked it. If you need a therapist, get it. It's
Right.
important.
Right.
Do whatever you need to do to let go of your stuff, other than, taking narcotics, but
Yeah, we're not into any of the narcotics and dulling your pain. That's just going to get you right back where you start, where we are, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yes. So we'd love to hear from you. So please comment below, subscribe to our channel. Let us know what else you would like to hear about. And we promise we will get back to the herbs and the foods as well. You can connect with me at holisticgen.com or Dan at danthenaturalman.com. We're here to help guide you through safe and effective natural healing practices. So thank you for joining us today.